Hey, it's another week and another opportunity to talk about my misadventures in gambling. Hello again, everybody. I'm John Sullivan, and this is the Bet Like No One's Watching podcast, a self-indulgent betting lifestyle podcast, if you will. Let's get right into it. Today's kind of like Christmas Day for me. It's the start of the CFL season tonight. This means we're going to have legitimate professional football for the next 9 months, all the way up to the next Super Bowl. As far as tonight's game, it's the Alouettes visiting the Calgary Stampeders. I'm on the over 47.5 tonight. And fortunately, the line hasn't moved against me. That's a promising sign, I guess. Of the 4 games this week, if you're looking for a hot tip, no sharpness guaranteed, but I think the strongest play of the week is Saskatchewan Roughriders at home on Saturday. Hamilton is visiting Saskatchewan. That's already moved the money line from minus 110 to minus 135. Two strong defenses. I definitely think that Saskatchewan is the better offense. I'm not as sold on Dane Evans as a lot of other people are. It's been a interesting offseason. The quarterback play, it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. Several teams have employed what I call a dual starter strategy. Now, in the CFL, they have a starting quarterback and then they have a short yardage quarterback. But what I mean by dual starter is these teams are definitely going towards an extra layer of depth. If a starter's ineffective, they may swap him out. It's been a crazy quarterback carousel. I'm going to see if I can do the starting quarterbacks for the league off the top of my head. I'm going to do the East first. Toronto is McLeod Bethel-Thompson with Chad Kelly backing up. Hamilton is Dane Evans. Ottawa is Jeremiah Masoli. And Montreal is Vernon Adams Jr. with Trevor Harris backing up. And then the Blue Bombers, the defending champs, have Zach Collaros. Calgary has Bo Levi-Mitchell with Jake Meyer backing up, who I think Jake Meyer is the better quarterback now, so we'll see who starts tonight. Edmonton Elks is Nick Arbuckle. Saskatchewan is Cody Fajardo. And there's a starter battle going on in BC, and the names escape me at the moment. O'Connor or O'Neill, I think, is one of the names. That team has the biggest question mark at quarterback. Big trades often happen during the season, so rosters can shake up a bit. A team that's out of it may trade one of their stars to another contender. Trades happen late into the season. The reason I bring that up is because that might give your futures tickets a boost, or a definite death knell if you had a future and a team trades away one of their best players. But something to keep in mind, it doesn't take a 5-11 team or that they play 18 games in the CFL, but literally a 5-13 or a 6-12 team could make the playoffs, so you never know. I already hit my first wager of the week with Aussie rules. I bet on the Richmond Tigers this morning. They won by 12. They did cover the spread. This is like a bye week for Aussie rules, so there's only 6 games. But all of the matchups are like heavy favorites. They're all like 65%-ish or more. So I think there is some value in the matchups this weekend, but as I talked about last week, if you use the modeling that I found online with Max Berry and his Squiggle AFL modeling, I think you'll do pretty well. There's usually one surprise each week, so I would tread carefully. It's professional sports, so it's not uncommon for a team that's at the bottom of the ladder to upset a team at the top of the ladder. It just happens. Everybody has bad days. So while it'll be a fun weekend of football, the NBA and the NHL playoffs are rolling along. My Rangers future, it's a day, kind of a day of reckoning for my New York Rangers hockey future with Game 5 tonight. If they win, they go up 3-2 with another home game left to go. So that would look good for the Rangers. If they lose, they're going to have to win 2 in a row, and that would look bad for the Rangers. The Garden should be rocking tonight. The biggest problem, without question, I'm sure it's been said by somebody, is that the Rangers aren't scoring enough 5-on-5. And they tried to shake up the lines in the last game. They had, that first period, I felt like they had a really fair, decent amount of chances. It was not puck luck. I don't feel like they carry the puck in the zone enough. I see they dump a lot. And, Gerard Gallant said in an interview, he says, I tell them to, make a strong play, and if there's no play, to dump it deep. But it seems like their first option is to dump and chase, and I feel like they need to carry the puck in the zone more, and that's going to, and also try to go strong up the middle. Force. They've been working. I noticed Connor McDavid did that too in the Oilers series. He would use his speed on the outside, and that's great to draw a penalty. But if you're trying to score, they were able to shut him down pretty easily from that wide right angle that he kept taking. I feel like the Rangers need, like, Panarin gets the puck in the point, the left point usually, and he'll try to pass it, and he's a great passer, or he'll go down low from the left and try to pass it back to the middle. They need somebody to bring the puck in to the from the middle, pass it to the outside, and then pass it back to the inside and get the defense moving. That's just, again, I'm not a sports professional strategist or an offensive coordinator or anything like that. It's just my view. So that's what I'm looking at and what I see, and I have absolutely zero control over the outcome. But it's fun to watch, and it's fun to anticipate how your futures are going to hang in the balance. But I'll definitely be watching, so I might be doing dual screens with the football game and the hockey game tonight. Going on to the NBA, the biggest surprise to me in the NBA is how well the Celtics are shooting the ball. I don't believe they shot the ball this well against the Heat. I haven't looked up the series numbers, but they shot over 50% from 3 in Game 1, and they've shot over 40% from 3 in Games 2 and 3. Just did not expect that from the Celtics over an extended period. After Game 1, I said, they won't shoot that good again, and technically they haven't, but they've been close. I think Klay Thompson's been pretty bad. I feel like the Warriors have gone too small. I feel like the bigs, Horford is a defensive liability inside. I feel like Robert Williams is not 100%, and you need to take it to him. And, not worry about him blocking your shot, but just going straight to the rack. I feel like Looney could have 30 points a night in this series. They have all of their three-point shooters on the floor. Fake a three, drive and dish. He's always right there. He knows that offense so well. He's always right there to grab a board or to take the dish. And if they concentrated on feeding him, I just think that would be game-changing. It would force the Celtics to collapse, would open up the outside. It might be what they need to win that series. I'm, again, not a basketball expert, not a sports professional. So what do I know? But it's been enjoyable to watch. I feel like the last couple of rounds of the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, were not that watchable. A lot of blowouts. these games, except for game one, have been, well, no, game one was a 2-point game. The second game, that even ended only 12 points off. So, but the Warriors were up by 27 or 28. So for the majority of the series, it's been competitive. So it's been somewhat decent to watch. So I want to circle back for a minute and talk about the College World Series for a bit. I can't remember a weekend where I had just so much fun grinding bets than last weekend during the College World Series round of 64. It was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The lines would come out in the morning for each day's games, and to be honest, they'd vary wildly from book to book. College baseball tournaments, just in nature, are super high variance game to game. These teams have to play back to back to back. Lack of pitching depth, and a bigger emphasis on offense in the college game really leads to these huge innings and big comebacks and upsets. Again, high variance situations. I had personally a really, really profitable weekend those 3 days, and ESPN did a great job covering that round of the tournament with their version of Red Zone for college baseball. I think they called it the Squeeze or something like that. Anyway, with the tournaments down to 16 teams, I still have several futures alive. I believe I have at least one. There's 8 best of 3 series going on. They call them the super regionals. So I have at least one team in every regional left, and I'm guaranteed at least two of the regionals. I have both teams surviving in my futures, so one of them will advance to the final 8 in Omaha. So I'm guaranteed at least 2 teams of the final 8, without even that round being started. So that was a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to make time to do that again next year. We'll see if we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. I have cash out options on almost all my futures, so I can recoup some of my initial investment and ride the ones I think are going to go deep. So hopefully that will work out well. So with the CFL and college baseball already locked in futures-wise, I think it's time to start focusing on the NFL and college football futures, as well as maybe World Cup and MLS. It's that time of year where you start looking at those. Of course, the World Cup is this summer. I'm sure the futures are already out and they're somewhat matured, but you may find the value after the first round starts. The MLS Cup is in December, or late November or the first week of December, and there's still a lot of time with that. But the MLS, for the most part, will be going on during the World Cup, and a lot of people will not be paying attention to it. So that might be a good time to attack that market. This is the time I usually start doing research for the NFL on the division level. Division futures, I've noticed, have been pretty valuable these last 2 years. On my other podcast, I do a weekly breakdown of each division, the 8 weeks leading up to the NFL season. It's such a parity league. If you see a team to win a division at 30-1 or higher, it's almost an auto bet. I did hit a 30-1 2 seasons ago on the Washington football team. That was the season where Dak Prescott got hurt, and all of the teams in the NFC East were below 500, I think. The not the Redskins, but the Washington football team finished 7-9, but they won a division. Last season, the only division future I had was the Bengals at plus 850 to win the division, and they did it, pretty easily. I was surprised. I just thought there was just so much parity in that division that it was just too good of a number to pass up. But that's the whole point. You look at those division futures and you say, hey, there's one that won't cost me a lot of money to get invested in. That might be worth it. And, now that I can bet online that they have cash out options. So that is, again, you can get out of the bet with something back and, reduce your net loss, or, you could, if you don't feel comfortable about it going all the way, you can cash out and get a percentage of the payout, which is usually above what you invested. So for some return, varies from situation to situation. So there's also a lot of value on early betting college football futures. I had very early last season, like week 1, week 2, I had Cincy and Michigan at 100-1 to win the college football playoff, and they both made the Final Four. I had a few others at 100-1. I think I had Iowa, Wisconsin, Oregon, Notre Dame. I think I had all those at 100-1 or very close to it. I just hedged with the wrong SEC team at the end. That was my biggest mistake. Was not hedging with Georgia, hedging with Alabama. But I think that there's definitely value in betting long shots in college football futures. Of course, you can bet teams to win their respective leagues, like the SEC or the Big Ten or whatever, but the value you get out of those, I do not believe. I mean, even if it's a long shot, if you bet Indiana to win the Big Ten, the potential value payout for that is not going, I don't think, is usually worth the squeeze, as they say. I feel like it's going for the big long shot on the national championship and hedging out at the Final Four level. I really think that that's the standard play. But you never know what you're going to find. You might find a great ticket on a Ivy League championship, on Princeton football or something like that. You just never know. But it's that time of year where we start looking at those fall sports and get into the good old sound of those pads hitting. I can't wait to hear that tonight. Very excited to complain about the poor kicking in professional football. Well, I think I'm going to wrap things up here, short and sweet today. I'm not going to get into any gambling Twitter stuff today at all. I do have some interest in talking about some of the business machinations going on around Spank Odds, for one. Deck Prism did a business move this week. I'm hearing stuff about Establish the Run, and of course Unabated is doing their thing. But I'm gonna save that for my next installment. So I'm trying to keep this content fresh and often for you, kind of like a Krispy Kreme donut shop. So I want to thank you for spending some of your day with me. I'm glad to be here, and I hope to be back with a new episode soon. I hope your bankroll stays flush and you're grinding that rent. So until next time, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon.